Hey, what do you think is the most important thing in any language? Verbs. And today I want to talk to you about modal verbs. What are they? Do you know? How do you use them? Do you know? If you're not sure, stay tuned because I'm going to get into this right after the intro. Hey guys, Mr. Finn here once again to help you guys out with some English. Now today, I want to cover modal verbs. Right now, I want to cover the basics of what modal verbs are. Modal verbs or modal phrases, they're basically like an auxiliary verb, a helping verb. Now these modal verbs, they're used with verbs. That's why they're considered helping verbs. And they're used to express ability, possibility, permission, and obligation. Now, modal phrases are just like, or they're used the same way as modal verbs. The only difference is they're followed by the preposition to. Okay? Now, an example of modal verbs would be like shall, should, will, would, can, could, may, must, have to, ought to, and be able to. You see? So those last ones I gave, they're examples of those modal phrases because they're followed by the preposition. What you need to understand is that when you use a modal verb, it is always going to be with a verb. Always. The only time you ever see a modal verb by itself is in an answer. So for example, I ask you, can you speak English? And your answer is going to be, yes, I can. You see, the modal verb is by itself. We don't have it with the verb because the question made it clear. Does that make sense? Now, what is the most important thing to remember when you're using modal verbs? Is that when it's with the verb, it's modifying the verb. It's explaining or giving clarity of what the verb it's with is going to be doing. So for example, will go, can go, should go. You see, the modal verb is giving clarification or it's explaining what the verb go is going to be. So when I say will go, I'm talking about the future. I will go. If I say can go, I'm talking about the ability. I can go. If I talk about should go, I'm giving advice. Does this make sense? Good. Another thing that you need to remember is that when you're using these modal verbs, the verb that it's with will always be in the infinitive without the to. The only time you have the to is when you use those modal phrases like ought to and able to or have to. Okay? So this is really important, and this is for all the pronouns. So for example, I would say, I will go, or you will go, or she will go. You see? So if it's I, or you, or she, or he, it doesn't change. I will go, you will go, she will go. It's that simple. Now, for example, modal verbs that have to do with ability would be like can and be able to and could. Modal verbs that have to do with possibilities are like could, might, may. Modal verbs that have to deal with permission is like you may, you can is also can be used as permission. Modal verbs for obligation is have to, must. Modal verbs talking about like giving advice, you should. Now, at this level, most of you guys who are watching this, your English should be good enough to understand how to use these. But some people still confuse, or some people still make the mistake of putting to, like I can to go, or I can to be. No, it's always going to be the modal verb and the verb in the infinitive. Okay? Another important thing to remember when it comes to modal verbs is that modal verbs are also used in the past, present, and future. But this is going to change which modal verb you use. Some of these modal verbs, especially the ones in the past, are used in hypothetical situations, which we call conditionals, like should, could, would. These are used in hypothetical presents, all right? And I'm going to get into this in another video. So, if that was helpful for you, make sure you click here where there's another video that you may find some help. I'm Mr. Finn, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bam!